Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to my show, the Fire Sports Pod. I'm your host, Zach Jackson, and we got a great show for you guys today. We're going to be going over two segments for you guys. First up, if you guys did not catch the division or playoff games this weekend on Saturday and Sunday, we had one hell of a games, and we're going to be going over those games for you guys, recapping Monday, basically, I should say, just recapping what happened this weekend and what's to come next weekend in the AFC and NFC championship game between the Baltimore Ravens and the Kansas City Chiefs and the San Francisco 49ers and the Detroit Lions. Those are going to be some great games. Our second segment, we're going to just be going over all the rankings so far right now. We're about a couple weeks until All-Star break, a couple weeks till the trade deadline. And there's some big teams that have got some question marks. Seriously saying my Lakers as well. Lakers are looking to trade D'Angelo Russell, and in the last three games, he's been averaging 27.4 points a game, over 5 assists, 53% percentage from the field, 52 from the 3-point line. He's in the mid 50s on all in the last three games. He's playing out of his mind since we started him, and since we basically threatened that we were going to trade him, he's been playing out of his mind. So we don't know if he's playing out of his mind for us or he's playing out of his mind so he can get a bigger contract and with another team. So we'll see what happens. But D'Lo's been playing out of his mind, and right now, a lot of folks that are Laker fans, including me, are a little skeptical on trading away D'Angelo Russell because if he can consistently play like this, we wouldn't have a problem. But the problem is he can't consistently play like this, and that's the big issue. So let's get right to it. First up, we're going to be going over, like I said, the divisional round playoff games. Um, Wednesday is going to be a great show. We're going to be posting this tonight. And then this week coming up on Wednesday, we're going to have my boy Jonathan, guest host, and our friend Ian, which is another sporty guy. He's also a fellow Cowboys fan. So we're going to be talking. We're going to have a big show Wednesday. So tune into that. That's going to be posted up on Wednesday. So you guys should definitely tune into that. I'll let you guys know on my TikTok when that YouTube show is going to be posted and when we're jumping on. So definitely check that out. And then we're going to have a show for you on Friday. I got some couple people trying to get in. So we'll see who's going to come into the show on Friday and Wednesday. And the following weeks. We're also going to have that debate show. This debate show is now going to be considered either Saturday and Sunday. I know we were supposed to do it last week, but we couldn't really get this past weekend, but we couldn't really get to it. A lot of people were doing some stuff. I was doing some stuff, so we couldn't get to it. But it's going to either be Saturday or Sunday, depending on the schedule. I'm definitely going to get a debate show, depending on any type of debate, sports debates, player debates, anything. So we'll get to you to that. But moving on from that, let's get into the divisional round talks. So first up, I am going to present my screen right now, and we're going to share it, and we're going to be talking about what's happening coming up and what happened just this past weekend. So first up, if you guys are looking at it, we had some great games, and we basically had 3 out of the 4 divisional round games. We had some great fucking games, I got to tell you. I mean, the only game that really did not pan out to be that type of game was the Ravens against the Texans. I mean, who would have thought that the Texans would have come into Baltimore to beat Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens? I did. Me, Zach Jackson, your host right now. I thought the Texans had a shot in that game. It looked like it. But if you guys actually watched the game, it really wasn't. They scored one touchdown, and that was off a kick return, a punt return, I should say, and that was the touchdown to tie the game going into the second half, and it was 10-10 coming in the second half. It was 17-10 almost till the fourth quarter, and once the fourth quarter hit, the Ravens went on a tear. I mean, they scored 17 technically, they scored 24 unanswered points. 24 unanswered points. The Texans defense forgot how to play. It really didn't want to play. There were no shows. And the Texans offense was similar. CJ Stroud did not turn the ball over, but he just could not get nothing going offensively. That defense had it out for him and the Texans. And DeMeco Ryan, as a rookie head coach, as great as he did, he's probably going to win um uh the best coach in the NFL. He should win the award of being the best coach because this man took a team that shouldn't even been in the divisional round, playoff round, to get there, get a win, and to get here to verse the best team in the NFL in the Ravens at the Ravens. But Lamar Jackson did what he did. 2 touchdowns through the air, 2 touchdowns, I believe, on the ground. Had an amazing day. They won 34-10. Smack them boys. So they got a one-way ticket, and it's going to be home versus the Kansas City Chiefs. We'll get to that in just a little bit. But you had the Packers and the 49ers on Saturday. What a game this was. The Packers had it, ladies and gentlemen. They had it. Ladies and gentlemen, the Packers should have won this game, but woulda, coulda, shoulda. They did not. They came up short in the biggest moments, especially Jordan Love. He threw an acrobatic sidearm pass across his body in the middle of the field. There was 4 people there, picked off, game over. They also had a chance to go up by 7, where this game would have been tied, but their kicker missed the field goal, setting up a Christian McCaffrey late touchdown to put them up 24-21, and Jordan Love threw the interception. And if it wasn't for that, Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers would be advancing to the NFC Championship game to verse the Lions in Detroit. What a game that would have been. In Detroit, the NFC Championship game to go to the Super Bowl, Detroit would have had a one-way ticket to there. Because I wouldn't be afraid of them if I was Detroit. But the 49ers did get the win. Christian McCaffrey played what he did. Brock Purdy, manager-type quarterback, managed the game, did what he had to do when the time came, and they succeeded and they got the win. It was a really bad win. It wasn't a crazy great win. It wasn't a domination by the defense or domination by the offense. It was complete ass. But they got the win, and they deserved it. They played better in the key moments of that game. And George Kittle had 2 touchdowns. Brock Purdy had a touchdown. Christian McCaffrey had 2 touchdowns. So they deserve it. San Fran won 24-21 to advance to the NFC Championship game, where they will be home versus the Lions. Now, that was Saturday. That was one hell of a day on Saturday, but now we move on to what happened yesterday night. In the divisional round in the NFC, you had the Buccaneers taking on the Detroit Lions. Who would have thought that the Bucs would have been in the divisional round? I'm sorry. A lot of probably people thought the Cowboys should have been there versus probably the Lions. And that's what a lot of people thought. That's what I thought as a Cowboys fan. But that definitely did not happen, ladies and gentlemen, as we got smacked by the Green Bay Packers in the wild card round at home. And we went packing early. But the Lions, they came up strong. They came up big. They did what they had to do. And the Lions were just automatic on offense. Their defense did give up 23. But the defense did force 2 turnovers, interceptions, and the one nothing worse than Baker Mayfield's interception at the end of the game to a linebacker who had his first interception in his career, and that was the interception to send them to the NFC Championship for the first time in over 28 years. It's been a while, a long time since Detroit has been in the NFC Championship, damn near a Super Bowl. So the Lions have a shot to be the first time in franchise history, I believe, to make a Super Bowl. For the Lions to win, they would have to take down the San Francisco 49ers in Santa Clara next week on Sunday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. That's going to be one hell of a fucking matchup. But moving on, you had the best game, probably going to be the second best playoff game behind the Chiefs and Ravens, who are coming up to go to the Super Bowl, because that's going to be a wild. Fireworks are going to be hanging all over the place. But the Chiefs going to Buffalo after everyone said, Patrick Mahomes, he can't do this, he can't do that. But guess what, ladies and gentlemen? He did that. He went into Buffalo and fucked up the Buffalo's defense and sent Bills Mafia in a frenzy. And they went home crying and they went home packing. It's funny because they didn't really have to pack. They just had to go right back to their houses in Buffalo. But hey, you know who had to pack? They had to pack their bags, Kansas City, to go to Baltimore as they advanced to the AFC Championship. How about that? Oh, my whole family on Saturday. Well, there ain't no way the Chiefs are beating the Bills. I said, let's bet money on it. I got the Chiefs winning anytime, any day. You cannot doubt Patrick Mahomes, especially against Josh Allen, them Buffalo Bills. He has not lost in the playoffs against the Buffalo and in with Josh Allen. He is 3-0. Head-to-head matchup in the playoffs. I believe Josh Allen's 3-1 against Patrick Mahomes in the regular season. He is 0-3 against Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. You know why? Because the GOAT, Patrick Mahomes, right now in the NFL, is the best quarterback in the NFL and might become the best quarterback to ever walk this planet. He is on a streak. They've been to 6 straight AFC championships games, him with the Kansas City Chiefs. That is remarkable. The first time, the only time there has been a quarterback other than Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes in an AFC championship game was Mark Sanchez and Ben Roethlisberger, I believe. The Steelers versus the Jets in 2011 AFC Championship. That was the last time there was another quarter. There were two quarterbacks that weren't named Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes in the AFC Championship game. That is absurd. That is absurd. 2011. It is 2024. That has been 13 years since there's been two different quarterbacks in the AFC Championship other than Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady. That is ridiculous. And it don't look like Kansas City and Patrick Mahomes are slowing down anytime soon. They look like they're going to be there for the foreseeable future because no one can beat them to get at least to the AFC Championship game. But man, Buffalo played their hearts out. They did what they could on defense. Their defense stepped up. They did what they had to do. But when it came down to it, they just couldn't get the stop they needed. And the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen came up short yet again. Yeah, you could say that Josh Allen wasn't to blame. Bass missed the field goal. He should be taking the blame. Yeah, that motherfucker's fucked up. He messed up. But guess what? With a minute 42 on the clock and 2 timeouts, Patrick Mahomes was going to go down the fucking field and score a touchdown to beat you guys by 3 if they didn't miss that field goal anyways. I'm just sorry. Or he would have had to get a touchdown. He was not losing that game in Buffalo after all the shit talk they said and all the said, oh, he can't win on the road. He's never played Bills Mafia when Bills were there. Last time they played was 2020 and there was no crowd. Blah, 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 blah. Well, he went into Buffalo and beat your asses. So, and one wasn't the first time. He's been in Tampa for the Super Bowl. He's been on the road. Yeah, he hasn't won, but yeah, first career playoff game on the road. Okay, other than the Super Bowl, he won. He beat probably the third best team in the AFC behind the Ravens and Kansas City, and probably the third or second best quarterback in the AFC. It might be in the NFL in Josh Allen. So I don't want to hear anything. Bills defense, they were good, but they weren't good enough. Patrick Mahomes gets the win 27-24, and he does just enough. And let's talk about Pacheco. Isaiah Pacheco went off. He had 97 yards and a touchdown. He was running the ball through these people's throats, down their throats, into their faces, into their chest, into their legs everywhere, man. He was going berserk. They could not stop him, and he was the one that iced the game with the run on second down where he went up the fucking middle for 9 yards, and then he got the first down for 4, and then they kneeled the ball, and the game was finished. And Buffalo took the L yet again. So we'll see what happens with the future of Stephon Diggs in Buffalo because he looks like he might be out sooner rather than later. Sean McDermott as the head coach might be out. They maybe could bring in Bill Belichick. You never know. That would be such a twist going to your division rivals from the Patriots to the Bills to coach Josh Allen. That would be something. But we will see about that. But let's move on to the conference championships that are happening this coming Sunday. First up, you have the Chiefs, defending Super Bowl champs Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Isaiah Pacheco, Andy Reid, going on the road in Baltimore, Maryland to take on the Baltimore Ravens and Lamar Jackson, Odell Beckham Jr., Zay Flowers. You got all them boys. Gus Edwards, you got all them boys there. It's going to be one hell of a fucking game. The Chiefs versus the Ravens in Baltimore, Maryland at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, Sunday, January 28th. And I want to go for the Ravens. And I want to go for the Chiefs. But you got to have to pick one. Sorry, guys. You ain't going to know who I'm picking. until Friday because I'm waiting until Friday to make my picks for these games. But just to let you know, Chiefs versus Ravens gonna be one hell of a fucking matchup. Don't sleep on this matchup. Ravens ain't blowing the Chiefs out, and the Chiefs ain't blowing the Ravens out. Because if one of these teams blows each other, one of them out, I'm gonna be very shocked. You guys are gonna see me on Sunday night on TikTok. I might even do a YouTube stream show and be like, "Yo, this is some bullshit right now." So we'll see about that. But moving on from that game, we're going into another monster game at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, Sunday, January 28th. We're going into the NFC Championship game between the Detroit Lions and the San Francisco 49ers. You got the Ravens at the 1 seed. You got the Chiefs at the 3 seed. You got the 49ers at the 1 seed. And you got the Lions at the 3 seed. So it could be a matchup between the 1 and the 3 in the Super Bowl. It could be a matchup of the 3 and the 3 in the Super Bowl. It could be a matchup of the 1 and the 1 in the Super Bowl. There could be a lot of matchups here. But I don't know this. The Chiefs and the Ravens are going to be. You really shouldn't get bet against Patrick Mahomes. But man, the Ravens are looking scary, and it looks like it's their time this year to get that Super Bowl ring. But we will see. I will not let you guys know, like I said, my picks until Friday afternoon when I do my YouTube show on Friday. Now, the Lions and 49ers are going to be one hell of a matchup. In the Lions, you got Jared Goff. You got Hutchinson. You got Laporta. They just brought on Zach Ertz. You got Amon St. Brown. You got Gibbs. You got Montgomery. You got a bunch of dogs out there. You got a bunch of dudes that can play, and that are dogs on the Lions. You have Campbell as their head coach. He is a beast. He is such a great coach. Then on the 49ers side, you got Debo, who might play, who might not play. He got injured last week, so we'll see if he plays this weekend. You got Debo. You got Brock. You got George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk, Christian McCaffrey, Trent Williams, Nick Bosa. You got Chase Young. You got Fred Warner, Greenlaw. You got all these motherfuckers. You got Ward. You got all these guys. Could the Lions upset the 49ers? I don't know, man. I don't know. The Lions are going to have to play perfect football, sound football in order to get this win over the 49ers on Sunday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time in Santa Clara. But could the Lions, if anybody but the Lions could do it, I think the only person that could do it in the NFC could be the Lions right now because everybody else is out. So it's the only person that stands in San Francisco's way, making the Super Bowl to either versus the Chiefs or the Ravens. We will see, and I will make those picks coming up on Friday. So you guys will see that right then and there. But now, the Super Bowl will be on February 11th, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So definitely tune into that. It's going to be one hell of a night and one hell of a game. We'll see who gets there. But let's move on to my second segment I have for you guys here on the Five Sports Pod, where everything we do here is fire. You guys know the drill. So let's get right to it. So we are going to stop sharing this screen. And I'm just going to talk to you guys a little bit about what just happened in the sports world. I just got a big monster notification, ladies and gentlemen. First up, Carl Anthony Towns passes Kobe Bryant for the most points in a first half since at least 1996-1997. Wolves' single-season game record is 60. Carl Anthony Towns has 44 points in the first half. The record is 60 for his franchise. That is ridiculous. He's definitely going to pass that. And we just have Joel Embiid scores 70 points versus the Spurs to pass Wilt Chamberlain for the most points in a game in 76ers history. Joel Embiid just had 70 as a center. That's ridiculous. And they won by 10. He had 70 and they won by 10. That don't make any sense. Wembanyama had one hell of a night. He had 33 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 10 of 19 shooting, 2 of 5 from the 3, 11 of 12 from the free throw line. He had 2 blocks, 1 turnover. They had a pretty good night, but man, Philly had 70 from Embiid, 10 from Maxey, 8 from Oubre, 14 from Harris, 5 from Batum. So you had another monster game from there. But man, what a game for Joel Embiid and the 76ers. And what a start for Karl Anthony Towns and the Minnesota Timberwolves. 44 points in the first half. That's ridiculous. But now, ladies and gentlemen, as we were talking just about the NBA, we're now going to talking about the NBA. So let's get right to it. I'm going to share my screen and go into this screen sharing about them NBA rankings. So let's get right to it, ladies and gentlemen. So right now we have a big time gap in with this Eastern Conference. Well, I shouldn't say gap because there's a lot of teams that are very close. But after really the fifth seed, there's really a little bit of a gap, or I should say 7 seed. After the 7th seed, there's a little bit of a gap. Not really, actually. So let's go down the list. You have the Celtics playing phenomenal basketball. They are 33-10. They are 23-6 against their conference. They are 20-1 at home. They are 13-9 away. So obviously, they're much better at home than they are away. Losing out of 10 games, they are 7-3. They're on a 1-game winning streak. They win 767% of the time out of 1,000. The Bucks are at the 2 spot. They are right there. They are 29-13. They're playing unbelievable basketball. Damian Lillard last night, I believe, had a poster. He's playing great too. They have a 690% winning percentage. 3.5 games back from Boston. They are 22-11 in the conference, 19-4 at home, 10-9 away. Similar to what Boston is, they're much better at home than they are away. They are 5-5 in the last 10, and they're on a 1-game winning streak. 76ers, we just talked about Joel Embiid having 70 points right now. 70 points to end the game. Winning of 28 wins, 13 losses, 683 winning percentage. 4 games back, 19 of 10 on conference, 16-6 at home, 12-7 away, 6-4 in the last 10, and won 5 straight. Cavaliers are 25-15. They have a 625 winning percentage. 6.5 games back from Boston. 17-9 in conference. 15-8 at home. 10-7 on the way. 8-2 in the last 10. They've won 7 straight. The Knicks are 26-17. They're a 605 winning percentage. 7 games back. 18-10 in the conference. 14-5 in home. And 12-12 away. They're 8-2 in the last 10. They've won. No, my bad. They are 12-12 away. They're 14-5 at home. They are 8-2 in the last 10, and they're on a 3-game winning streak. The Heat are 24-19, 558 winning percentage, 9 games back, 18-13, 12-8, 12-11, 5-5 in the last 10, and on a 3-game losing streak. The Pacers are 24-19. They're doing really well, even without Tyrese Halliburton. They're on a 2-game losing streak. The Magic are 23-20. They have 535 winning percentage. They are 4-6 in the last 10 and have won 1 straight. But after that, it kind of goes down. The Bulls are 21-23. Then the Hawks. Once the 9 spot goes, the Hawks are 18-24. The Nets are 17-25. The Raptors are 16-27. And the Hornets and Wizards are 9-31 and 7-35 are the Wizards. That is bad, man. That is really bad. So if you just look at the rankings, guys, it's and the Pistons are 4-38. I mean, they are 4-21 in their conference, 2-19 at home, and they are 1-9, 2-19 at home, 2-19 on the way, and they're 1-9. And in the last 10, they're 1-9, and they've lost 2 straight. That's just embarrassing, man. I don't know what to say. I mean, this team for the Pistons is just absolutely ass. Like, it's really bad. Like, absolutely atrocious. It's that bad. But if you look at the 15 rankings for the Eastern Conference, you have the top teams, and then you have the low tier teams, and then you have the low tier teams. So I would say, I mean, the better teams are at the top. You have the top 3 powerhouses in the Celtics, the Bucks, the 76ers. I don't think anybody's going to touch those 3 by the time the end of the season goes if they all stay healthy and keep consistent. The Cavs and Knicks and Heat are another one. Once Tyrese comes back fully healthy, the Pacers will be back in it. The Magic are good. They're just a little up and down now. They were consistent early in the season. They've gotten a little inconsistent as of late. The Bulls, same thing with them. The Hawks, Nets, and Raptors are there, but they're kind of ass. And then the Hornets and Wizards and Pistons, you don't even have to fucking worry about. They're gonna be the three worst teams in the NBA. So I mean, you never know about this, but at the same time, it looks like these three teams at the top, the only other teams that I could see upsetting these guys at the top between the 76ers, Bucks, and Celtics are the Cavs, the Knicks, the Heat, and the Pacers. Those are the only four teams that I see that could make a mark and could get a win in a series against the Celtics, the Bucks, or the 76ers. So we'll see at the end of the season, or at least by All-Star break, where these teams are. And especially with the NBA trade deadline coming up soon, any of these teams are going to make with a move to help their roster out. I know the Lakers are eyeing DeJounte Murray in the trade with D'Angelo Russell. So we'll see what happens in the East, but the East is kind of stacked, man. The seven top teams are really good, and they're all seven of those teams can beat each other. So you never know. But let's move on to the Western Conference part of this, because you have some big things in the West. I mean, the West is filled with potential, and I mean potential. There is a lot of potential in this Western Conference. I mean, ridiculous amount of potential. But before we get started, you have a lot of guys going crazy right now. You have a lot of things. Uh, you have the with the top seeds in the West, you got the Timberwolves who are playing unbelievable basketball. 44 points for Cat at halftime right now. They are 30-12. They have 714 winning percentage. They're 21-7 in the conference. They're 17-3 at home, 13-9 away, 6-4 in the last 10, and have a losing streak of 1. The Thunder are 29-13, 690. A one game back, 17 of 10 at conference, 16-5 at home, 13-8 away, 6-4 in the last 10, and a win streak of 2. You have the Nuggets at third spot, defending champs are 30-14, 682 winning percentage, one game back as well, 17-10 in the conference, 17-4 at home, 13-10 away, 7-3 in the last 10, and a winning streak of 2. You have the Clippers right there, 27-14, 659 winning percentage, 2.5 games back, 20-11 in the conference, 18-4 at home, 9-10 away, 8-2 in the last 10, and a winning streak of 2. You have the Pelicans at the 5 spot. They are 25-18. They are 581 winning percentage, 5.5 games back, 17-16, 13-9 at home, 12-9 away, 6-4 in the last 10, and a losing streak of 1. You have the Mavericks at the 6th spot, 24-18, 571 winning percentage, 6 games back. 18-15, 13-9, 11-9, 6-4 in the last 10, and losing streak of 1. You have the Suns, 24-18, 571, 6 games back, 16-14, 13-11, 11-7, 7-3, and a winning streak of 5. Kings, 23-18, 561, 6.5 games back, 15-13, 13-8, 10-10, 4-6, losing streak of 4. And you have my LA Lakers in the running. They're at the 9th spot right now. With a 22-22 record, 500, 9 games back, 17-14, 16-8 at home, 6-14 away, 5-5 in the last 10, and a winning streak of 1. And you have the Jazz to round out the top 10 that would make it into the playoffs, or at least the play-in tournament. 22-22, 500, tied with the Lakers at 9 games back from the first place. 12-17 at conference, 15-6 on home. 7-16 away, 7-3 in the last 10, and a losing streak of 2. The Rockets now. The Rockets. They're not far behind. They are 20-22. Winning percentage of 476, 3-7 though in the last 10, and a losing streak of 1. The Warriors are god awful. They look like they need to get their act together. If not, they ain't gonna do shit this year and for the years to come. Warriors are 18-22, 450 winning percentage. They are 3-7 in the last 10, and they have a losing streak of 2. You have the Grizzlies without John Morant for the rest of the season, 15-27, 357 winning percentage. You have a 5-5 in the last 10, and a losing streak of 2. You have the Trailblazers at 12-30. 286 winning percentage. You have 3-7 in the last 10 and a losing streak of 1. You have the Spurs, who just lost to Joel Embiid 70 points in a game, 133 to 123. They are now 8-34 with a winning percentage of 190. They are 3-7 in the last 10 with a winning percentage of 1. They're going to be 8-35 with a losing streak of 3 out of the last 8, and they're gonna have a 1 game losing streak. But if you look at this side of things in the West is stacked, man. I mean stacked. You have the Timberwolves, you have the Thunder. There's four powerhouse teams here. Timberwolves, Thunder, Nuggets, Clippers. The other three teams are the Pelicans, Mavericks, Suns. And then you have the Kings, Lakers, and Jazz. All of these guys, all of these teams, the top 10 teams right here can beat each other. You've seen it. Lakers beat the Thunder. Timberwolves, Nuggets beat the Tims. Clippers can beat anybody. Pelicans can beat anybody. Suns can beat anybody if they're healthy. Mavericks, same thing. Kings, when they're on, they're on. The Jazz, they've been coming alive. When they're on as well. The Lakers, same thing. This all teams have to get consistent with it. If they can get consistent with it, they'll come out with a lot of different things. But if you get consistent with it, there's going to be a lot of teams where they not with the East, where you got three powerhouses with the 76ers, Bucks, and Celtics. You really can't move those guys. But in order to move those guys, you're going to have to beat those guys in a 7-game series. Like the last four that I said, those four guys, they can beat those guys. But it kind of has to add up. You really can't fuck around with it, because if you fuck it up, you're going to lose that series. These in the West, I mean, every team can beat any team, no matter if you're the Warriors, no matter if you're the Spurs, no matter if you're the Grizzlies, the Rockets, the Jazz, the Lakers, or the Trailblazers. Any team in the West can beat any team any given day. Even in the East, any team can beat any team. But it just looks more like this Western Conference is a lot more spread out, where it's basically any team's game. Here in the East, it's kind of like, I should say, like there's three dominant teams, and there are four other teams that are right there that could potentially knock them off, and then the rest are just not even close. That's how I feel about it. You guys let me know in the comment section what you think about the East and West, and which conference is more dominant, and which conference has more of a free, where any team can really play any team any given night and beat them. So you guys let me know what that is. But other than that, guys, that is pretty much it. I mean, my Lakers, they have been doing they're 22-22. They just won last night, beating the Trailblazers. D'Lo in the last 3 games is averaging 27.5 points, 5 assists. You got him shooting over 50% from 3 and the field. So it's one hell of a time. But we are looking for DeJounte Murray, it looks like, and we might be sending him over with Jalen Scunafino with a first-round pick and additional draft assets. So we'll see what happens with that. But it looked like last night, the way D'Lo was talking, was like, yo, this ain't going to be my last game. And I appreciated everybody who took the ride along with me with the Lakers. So it kind of looked like that. We'll see if that actually happens. But right now, I'm like, do we keep him? Do we let him go? But I think the problem is Darvin Ham, the way he's been coaching, the way his substitutions are, the way his lineups have been changing all the time of it recently. So we'll see what the Lakers, Rob Pelinka, and Jeannie Buss do at the trade deadline, or anything before the trade deadline. We will see. But other than that, guys, that is pretty much it for my YouTube show here on the Fire Sports Pod. I'm your host, Zach Jackson, and this is my show, the Fire Sports Pod. I hope you guys enjoyed my show, and I'll catch you guys on Wednesday as we go into more depth and more talking about the NFL playoffs, divisional round, and all that stuff with my boy Jonathan, my guest host Jonathan, and my guest host Ian. We're going to have a great show for you on Wednesday, and I'll catch you guys then. If I have to do a show and people are coming on, we'll either do it tomorrow, or we're getting in on Wednesday just after me, Jonathan, and Ian talk some sports. So we'll keep you guys posted on who's coming on the show on my TikToks on the Fire Sports Pod. I am going to be shooting on Tuesday, probably mini clips on YouTube of 1 minute long, just to kind of get a little started, get you guys knowing what we're going to be talking about on Wednesday, and on Thursday night, we'll be doing a little bit of what's going to be happening on Friday. But other than that, guys, stay tuned in for my YouTube show here on the Fire Sports Pod. Other than that, guys, we're going to be moving from here onto our Apple Podcast and Spotify audio show on the Fire Sports Pod. You guys definitely tune into that, but I'm going to catch you guys there. Other than that, guys, have a great rest of your Monday night, and I'll catch you guys on the YouTube show, Fire Sports Pod, on Wednesday. Peace.